How to use the cheapest marketing video type most profitably. Video marketing actually involves many types of videos. There's no such thing as a magic bullet video. Seriously, there's no one video type that would sell everybody all the time. That simply doesn't work. Different people are more likely to trust a video spokesperson. Fair enough. Others have a soft spot in their hearts for a whiteboard animation. Cool. Even others prefer slideshows. Now, you may be thinking that these different video types are pretty much the same. No, they're not. At the very least, they're priced differently. If you're looking for the cheapest type of video marketing, go with slideshows. This should be obvious. Basically, you take different pictures and you come up with captions. You edit them together. Maybe you play a soundtrack in the background, and you have yourself a nice, professional-looking slideshow. Now, you may be thinking that since these are cheap, they're not all that persuasive. Think again. You just have to use them in the proper context of the KLT sales method. Some slideshows are to develop knowledge. Other slideshows are to get people to prefer your particular method. And other slideshows are to get them to trust the specific product that you're selling. Again, slideshows are not much different from the other videos in terms of the KLT sales method. What makes them stand apart is the fact that you can create a lot of them and they're dirt cheap. Use your secret weapon. There's one secret weapon that would really turbocharge the impact of slideshows. The best part to this secret weapon is that it doesn't really cost much money. What am I talking about? Your voice. Either you narrate your slideshows or you hire somebody for cheap to do it. Regardless of how you do it, just do it. Why? When your slideshow has an actual human voice playing over it, it gives it a personal touch. The viewer doesn't get the impression that they're back in high school being forced by their teacher to watch some boring slideshow video. Instead, the voice element in the slideshow creates all sorts of emotional imagery. This makes your slideshow more powerful. Now, you may be thinking that you need to be slick to do this. No, it's okay to make mistakes. As long as you're personable and you impress the viewer, you'll be fine. How do you impress people? Very simple. Impress them with facts and results. Let me tell you, people brag all the time. That's not going to impress anybody. Why? Everybody does it. However, when you show people that the stuff you're talking about is real, you know they will sit up and pay attention. That's how you impress with facts and results. Finally, call the viewer to action. This is the key. Always call them to action. 3 key marketing video types you need to know about. A lot of newbie video marketers are under the impression that all marketing videos are pretty much the same. Maybe they define sales videos as spokesperson videos. These are videos where you see an actual person speaking to the camera and connecting with the viewer. Maybe they would define it as some sort of nicely produced slideshow. Others prefer animation. Interestingly enough, there are different types of videos that you can use for sales. They have their own set of strengths and weaknesses. Understand the different types you have at your disposal so you can make informed decisions as to which videos to make. Here are just 3 key marketing video types. There are a lot more out there, but you need to know about these 3. Once you've mastered these 3, then you can experiment with the other types. Whiteboard videos. Whiteboard videos feature a hand that quickly draws a picture. This is an illusion because the picture actually already exists. The software used to create these videos simply hide parts of the picture and then reveal it to give the illusion that the hand is drawing the pictures. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's also very effective. The main reason why a lot of people like whiteboard videos is that they are being revealed information. It's not like you're just telling somebody, okay, these are the facts, and then let's move on to the next set of facts. Instead, when people see the hand moving around, they see that the concept is being fleshed out in front of their very eyes. The downside to typical whiteboard marketing videos is that they are produced by software that often have very limited graphics libraries. It is no surprise that a lot of these whiteboard videos look suspiciously very similar to each other. How can they not? They use the same graphics libraries. Unfortunately, if you were to come up with your own graphics library, this is going to explode your costs because you're going to have to get those graphics from somewhere. Video spokesperson. This is the most common type of sales videos. There's really not much to explain. You have a person either reading off a teleprompter or reciting memorized talking points. The reason why video spokespersons are very powerful is because there is a human-to-human connection. The moment you look at somebody in the eye and there is a sincerity in your face, you can connect. I know that sounds simple, but it's also very powerful. The downside with video spokespersons is that they're very expensive. Seriously, I don't know about you, but the last time I got convinced by a video spokesperson, the person had to speak for several minutes. Unfortunately, most video spokespersons charge by the second for every 100 words. If you want somebody to speak at length, it's going to be a costly proposition indeed. Slideshows. Slideshows are very cheap to make. I mean, how complex could it be? You're basically just taking music in different pictures and possibly even video clips and compiling them together. Well-made slideshows are smooth and slick. Now, the biggest advantage of slideshows is that they're so cheap that you can make a ton of them. The big disadvantage of slideshows is that they are fairly flat unless you include a voiceover. Unless you have a nice voice and can speak professionally, it's going to be a problem for you. Seriously, because you're going to have to spend money on professional voiceover artists, and a lot of them charge by the word. Keep the types in mind for your campaigns. Get a clear understanding of the different video types available out there and get a clear read on the type of video your target market prefers. 3 key considerations to think about when using whiteboard videos for marketing. You probably have seen whiteboard marketing videos before. They all start out with a hand or a blank screen, and then a hand shows up and draws images while a voiceover plays or some text appears explaining what's going on. They're very effective because they tend to do an efficient job at explaining concepts. Make no mistake, when you talk to somebody and you have a concept in mind, sometimes things get lost in translation. You're not quite able to get your message across clearly and effectively. When you pair that with images, it's much easier for things to click in the minds of people you're trying to convince. Remember, at the end of the day, you want them to reach into their pockets, whip out their wallets, take out their credit cards, fill out an online form, and send you money. That's the bottom line. That's the name of the game. There's no shame in that game. Whiteboard animation can be an effective tool in making that happen. Another way you can turbocharge whiteboard animation is using cartoons. You can use caricatures. Believe it or not, they create the same face-to-face type of video connection as a video spokesperson. The great thing about using cartoons is the fact that they are much cheaper than video spokespersons. The problem with whiteboard animations is their cost if you choose to turbocharge them. If you were to just stick with images and canned music, you'll be fine. You probably would be cranking out tons of these videos for a few bucks a pop, if that. That's how cheap they are to make. The problem is, the moment you start including a voiceover, your costs start to explode. Now, your costs will remain low if you're doing your own voiceover. But if you're insecure about your voice, or you feel that you're just not a good speaker, or you have a low quality voice, you're going to have to spend on a professional. These people are not cheap. They charge per 100 words, and it can get very expensive if you have tons of whiteboard videos. Whiteboard videos that are just made with images and diagrams are cheap to create, just like slideshows. But the moment you include voice, all bets are off. Keep that in mind. 3 key Fiverr services that will turbocharge your video marketing business. Video marketing does not have to be expensive. I know you probably have heard otherwise. I'm sure there are lots of professional services companies out there that would love to convince you that you have to pay top dollar. But at the end of the day, you don't have to spend an arm and a leg on your videos. You can create slideshow after slideshow, whiteboard video after video, and still have a lot of money left. However, if you really want to increase the impact of your videos, you're going to have to spend a little bit of money. Now, how much money you end up spending totally depends on how many extras you want to pack into your videos. Don't get me wrong. A well-made slideshow video can be effective, but if you really want to maximize its impact with as little effort on your part as possible, you would have to spend on extras. Here are 3 key Fiverr services that will greatly enhance the quality and impact of your video marketing materials. Intro and outro. An intro or outro is an animated or musical piece that plays either in the beginning or at the end of your video. This is a nice little branding element. You may have to pay a little bit of money up front, but the great thing about these clips is that they are a sunk cost. This means that they get cheaper and cheaper the more you use them. You might get a really nice intro, kind of like the Pixar animation. But after a while, people start associating your brand with your intro. This is a good investment to make. Sound engineering and editing. I understand that if you're just starting out, you probably are working on a shoestring budget. You just don't have enough money to come up with the very best videos. I understand that. But here's the thing. If you want to develop a solid brand in your niche, you need to reinvest some of your earnings into quality control. The best way to do this is to invest in sound engineering or video editing. A little bit of money invested in these types of services can go a long way in lifting the overall quality of your videos. Why would you want to do that? Well, you want to come up with a polished brand that would attract people in your niche. Again, this is an investment. You don't have to do it right out of the gate, but you're going to have to revisit this sooner rather than later. Voiceover. Make no mistake. Unless you're doing your own voiceovers, this additional element can get quite expensive. This is why you have to invest in voiceovers very strategically. For example, if you crank out slideshows normally, maybe you make it a point to produce a slideshow with a voiceover for every 10 videos you make. Whatever the case may be, a little bit of voiceover work can go a long way in helping you develop a solid brand. Use the 3 key Fiverr services above to turbocharge the impact of your marketing videos. Do you have to have the best looking videos to make money in your niche? I remember the first time I watched a sales video, and I hate to admit it, it looked like a pile of garbage that caught fire. And that's putting it mildly. The audio was scratchy, the video was blurry at some parts, but guess what happened at the end? That's right. I reached into my back pocket, took out my wallet, fished out my credit card, and filled out an online form. I just sent a couple of $100s to whoever made that video. That's how effective that video was. Now, it had nothing to do with the grainy video images. It had nothing to do with the crappy sound system. It definitely had nothing to do with the weird voiceover that seemed like the person talking had pneumonia or some sort of hormone problem. You know what got me? The total video. It packed enough value that it spoke truth to me. Seriously, it delivered value at the right time and at the right moment to produce the right moods that hit me in the right way. Don't get me wrong, I could have bought from a ton of other people, but the video was able to speak to me with the right message at the right time to produce the right effect. I'm sharing this embarrassing experience with you to clue you in on the fact that your video doesn't have to be slick. I know it sounds shocking, but it's true. It doesn't have to look like an Academy Award-winning director produced it. It just has to have the right elements. Unfortunately, in this game, you will only know how to project the right elements at the right time after enough practice. This is why I suggest that you produce video after video after video until you get it right. Don't expect to get it right overnight. That's just not going to happen. But the more you practice, the better you get at it. I can guarantee it.